May 3, 1791 was the date of the adoption of the second constitution in the world and the first in Europe. It was adopted to modernize and save the Commonwealth from collapse. How did this happen, and why was the adoption of the constitution so important for Poles? The 18th century. The mighty empire that once was the Commonwealth is on the brink of collapse. Poland becomes dependent on three neighboring Enlightenment powers: the Russian Empire, the Kingdom of Prussia, and Austria. Most of the nobility accepted the rule of foreign powers, and King Stanislav August Poniatowski seemed completely subordinate to Russian interests. Despite the dire situation in the country, there is a group of patriots who want to rebuild the country. They were called the Patriotic Party, and their leader was Hugo Kołłątaj. Despite great efforts and many attempts, the same of the nobility rejected their proposals for reforms. In Poland, there was a law that said that in order for a given law to be introduced, all deputies had to agree to it. This made it very difficult to implement any reforms. The patriots were left with only one thing: a coup. When most of the nobility went on holiday during the Easter break in 1791, the patriots stayed in Warsaw and illegally continued the deliberations of the Sejm. They passed a new government act, which was later called the Constitution of the 3rd of May. It contained abolition of the elective monarchy, replacing it with a hereditary, limiting the power of the nobility, abolition of the liberum veto, increase burghers' rights, to defend the rights of the peasants, the introduction of a tripartite division of power, increase troops from 10,000 to even 100,000. The townspeople, the Enlightenment, the patriots welcomed the adoption of the constitution with enthusiasm. The king agreed to accept the reforms and even participated in the drafting of the constitution. The adoption of the Government Act was a sign for Poles that Poland could survive and brought with it great hopes. It was the first constitution in Europe. However, there was an opposition in the country that opposed the constitution. Soon, partially disempowered magnates asked Russia to intervene to restore order in the country. But that's another story.